What if you could build your life with the same kind of creativity that goes into designing, say, your smartphone? That's the big idea behind the book, Designing Your Life by Stanford professors Bill Burnett and Dave Evans. They say design thinking isn't just for making cool products. It's the perfect tool for building a life that's actually meaningful and joyful. So let's dive in.
We've all been asked this question, right? From the time we're little kids, it's this huge, heavy question. But for a lot of us, it feels less like an exciting door to walk through and more like a trap, like you have to make one single perfect decision that locks you in forever. And that question can follow you around for years, causing a ton of anxiety.
So the authors suggest a really simple but kind of mind-blown reframe. Instead of asking what you want to be, what if you asked who or what you want to grow into? It totally flips the script. It's not about finding one perfect answer. It's about becoming and evolving and designing a life experience. This little mental shift, well, it's the very first step to getting unstuck. Let me tell you about Ellen. She was interested in rocks, so she majored in geology. Seemed logical, right? But after she graduated, she had this sinking feeling. She didn't actually want to be a geologist, so she felt completely stuck, like her degree had painted her into a corner she didn't want to be in.
Or take Janine. On paper, her life looked perfect. Top college, top law school, on the fast track to partner at a big firm. She'd checked all the boxes. She had everything she was supposed to want. But the reality? She was just miserable. She'd built the life she thought she should have, not the one she actually wanted. And then there's Donald. After a really solid, responsible 30-year career, he started waking up in the middle of the night, asking himself that one question over and over. The life that was supposed to feel satisfying had just lost all its meaning. And he felt like it was way too late to do anything about it. So you see this pattern, right? Ellen, Janine, Donald, they're all feeling stuck in different ways. Well, designers actually have a name for this kind of challenge, a wicked problem. Now, it's not evil wicked. It's wicked in that it's messy, it's complex, and you can't just apply a simple formula to solve it. But here's the cool part. For a designer, a wicked problem is exciting. It's the perfect place to start creating something new. So where do these wicked problems come from? The authors argue they often start with what they call dysfunctional beliefs. Basically, these are myths we've all picked up about life and work and success. They sound true, but they're not, and they're totally holding us back. All right, let's bust one of these myths right now. The big one. Your degree determines your career. A lot of people, just like Ellen, think their college major locks them into a certain path for life. But the reality, it's not even close to being true for most people. The actual data tells a much more hopeful and liberating story. Just look at that number, 27%. That's it. So let's flip that around. That means nearly 3 out of every 4 college grads are out there building successful careers in fields that have nothing to do with their major. The takeaway here is huge. Your major is a starting point, not a life sentence. You have total permission to explore. So if you're feeling stuck, I want you to really hear this. It's not a personal failure. You are not broken. The problem isn't you. It's a framing problem. It's the old beliefs and the old questions you're using that are broken. Change the questions, and you can start to change your life.
Okay, so what's the solution? It's time to start thinking like a designer. And here's the big secret. Designers don't just sit in a room and think their way to an answer. No way. They get their hands dirty. They build things, they test things, they create prototypes. They literally build their way forward. And guess what? You can do that with your life too. This brings us to probably the single biggest myth in all of career advice. Follow your passion. For the 80% of us who don't have one single obvious all-consuming passion, that advice is just awful. It's not helpful. It just makes us feel lost, like there's something wrong with us. So here's the reframe that changes everything. Passion isn't something you find. It's something you develop. It comes after you try something. Discover you kind of like it, and then get good at it. So passion is the result of a well-designed life, not the cause. The goal isn't to find your passion. It's to design a life that lets passion find you. So how do you get started with all this? Well, you need a toolkit. And Burnett and Evans give us 5 core mindsets that will help you think like a designer and start building a life you actually love. All right, here they are, your 5 new superpowers. Be curious, try stuff, which they call having a bias to action, reframe problems, know it's a process, and ask for help, or as they call it, radical collaboration. Let's just quickly break each one down.
First up, curiosity. This is your engine. It's just about being open and exploring things without judging them. Then, bias to action. This one is huge. It means you stop trying to think your way to the answer and you start doing. You run small, low-risk experiments, or prototypes, to see what a different path might actually feel like. Third is reframing. This is how you get unstuck. It helps you step back and make sure you're actually solving the right problem, not just the most obvious one. And fourth is awareness. This is about being real with yourself that life is a journey, not a destination. It's messy. You have to let go of the idea of a perfect plan and just embrace the process. And finally, number 5, radical collaboration. This one is so important. You are not alone in this. Your life is not a solo project. It's a team sport. You don't have to figure it all out yourself. In fact, your best ideas are going to come from talking to other people. So build a team and ask for help.
Okay, so you've got the mindsets, you've got your toolkit, but how do you actually start? Like, what do you do first? Well, the first rule of any design project, of any journey, is you have to know your starting point. You have to start where you are.
I love this. In the Stanford Design Studio, there's a sign that just says, "You are here." It's there because it's the most critical first step. It's about acceptance. You're not too late. You're not behind. You are here. And here is the only place anyone ever gets to start from. It's the perfect place to begin. Part of starting where you are is being honest about what you can't change. The authors have a fantastic term for this: gravity problems. Think about it. You can't solve gravity, right? You can't fight it. It's just a fact of life. You have to accept it and work with it. When you stop fighting gravity problems, you free up so much energy to work on the things you actually can influence.
So how do you get a clear snapshot of where here actually is for you? The book has this great, simple tool called the Life Design Dashboard. Think of it just like the gauges in your car. It gives you a quick, honest look at how things are running in the key areas of your life. You just take a look at 4 key areas. First, health. That's your mind, body, and spirit. Second, work. And this is everything you do, not just your job. Third, play, which is so important. It's any activity that brings you pure joy just for the sake of it. And finally, love, your sense of connection to others. Just taking an honest look at these gauges can show you right away where things might be out of balance. Look, the biggest takeaway from all of this is that you don't need a perfect plan. You just need to get curious and start building. Your life is the most interesting, important, and creative project you will ever get to work on. So the only question left is, what will you prototype first? What's one small experiment you're going to try?